So let's get started. So we're going to start with your feet wide. So if you have got a mat, grab your mats, take your feet wide, knees and toes facing forwards, and we're just going to simply add some movement. So you might still be in your pajamas, you might have just got out of bed, but we're just going to take the movement side to side. So you might feel the stretch all the way down into the inner thigh. Think about pushing the bottom back, but keeping your chest and your head slightly lifted, and just transition from one side to the other. So creating some movement, some flow, getting everything going this morning it's Monday, isn't it? Yeah, it is Monday. All the days roll into one a little bit for me at the moment. Okay, so warming up through those legs. Let's just do a couple more, one more to each side. And then find yourself into the center, and we're just turning those toes out to the sides, taking a deep breath in, bringing the arms up into a prayer, pushing the palms together and then bending the knees to push the knees back slightly, shoulder blades down the back, and we're just going to hold here for a few moments. Now you could always create some movement here if you want to, going side to side, or just ground through the heels. You should be able to slightly wiggle your toes. Your knees should be above your ankles, shoulder blades pulling down the back. So let's go into star, pushing out, reaching the arms, and then bringing it back down. Pressing those palms together. And again, stretch, lengthen. So every time you come up, reach through the fingertips and stretch to the ceiling. And then every time you come down, really ground through the heels, push the knees back, shoulder blades down the back. And again, stretching, lengthening, reach through the fingertips. And then bringing the palms together, bringing yourself down into that position. We'll go one more time, stretching all the way up, finding that length, and holding here, rotate your feet. So one foot is facing the top of the mat, the other foot is facing forwards towards me. Your upper body, your hips are facing me, and your arms are reaching and lengthening out. We're trying to power up the thigh, ground through your feet, pull the belly button in and up. And then imagine somebody's pulling on your fingertips, reaching over that leg that's turned out and moving into that triangle position. So you can be higher here if you need to, or lower. If you start to move forwards with the body, then I want you to come higher and try and open out and breathe. You can lock the arm inside of the leg. If it's too much for that top arm, you can always bring it onto the hip. Your next one is for those abdominals. So I want you to actively now pull your belly button in towards the spine, lift the muscles of the pelvic floor, create that strong foundation. The top arm, if you can, reaches above the head, stretching to where you can. This is where the core comes into play, reaching and lengthening that bottom arm, so you're scooping through those core muscles, and then really slowly using the core to come all the way up to the standing position. Turn your toes back out, bend the knees, bring your hands down into a prayer, pushing the palms together, stretching all the way up, finding that length, reaching and stretching. You can add a rise onto those toes if you want to. One more time, bending the knees, pressing your palms together, stretching all the way up. And again, we'll hold here to go to the other side. So you're going to rotate the other foot to the top of the mat. One foot is facing me, upper body and hips are facing forwards. Stretch and lengthen, and let's go straight into that triangle, trying to open out the body. So we're pulling the belly button in, trying to stack the ribs and the hips, draw up through those quad muscles, and try and open everything out to that position. Finding that length. And each side might be different. So one side you might be further down. Remember, try not to fold forwards. And then one side you might find it's more challenging, so you need to be up a little bit higher. Let's hold and breathe for a moment. Stretching and reaching through the fingertips. Maybe locking the arm, finding that breath. And then activating those core muscles. So pull your belly button in towards the spine. Let's reach the top arm above your head. Scoop those tummy muscles as you start to reach that bottom arm. This is where you're going to feel it, and then gradually come all the way up to that standing position, turning your toes out. One more time, bending the knees, pushing the knees out, bring the palms together. Perfect. Good. Stretch, lengthen. Turn the toes to face forward. Let's find some length and stretch, reaching your fingertips out ahead of you, folding over to where you can, and relaxing, stretching through those hamstrings. So, you may not be touching the floor. Bring your hands onto the thighs. Try not to lock out the knees completely. So have a slight buoyancy in the knees, or a deeper bend into the knees if you need to. But find that length and that stretch down the back of the legs, going to where you can. Maybe holding on to opposite elbows, maybe allowing the upper body just to sway side to side. Get some movement into the stretch. Remember, it's really early in the morning, and some of you might just kind of rolled out of bed. So this might feel a really intense stretch. So just breathe and relax into it. Let's go one more breath here. Take a deep breath. Remember, use your exhales to soften and release and relax. And then gradually bring yourself up to a standing position. Take a deep breath. Bring your feet together. Bring your hands into a prayer. Squeeze the inner thighs. Weight back into the heels so you should be able to wriggle your toes, sinking down into your seated chair. So again, we want the weight back into the heels so you're not taking the knees forwards over the toes. So if you can lift your big toe or just wriggle your toes, that's how you know your weight is in the right place. And so you can sink your bottom back, but keep your chest lifted. And if you're like me and you tend to dip through the spine, scoop the tummy muscles to slightly tuck under your tailbone. And if you feel confident here, you can reach those arms up, and we should be feeling those legs. Squeeze the inner thighs in. Finding, again, if it's too much with those arms up, bring them down. Finding that slight burn, but breathing through it. Let's come all the way up. Breathe in. Exhale to fold forwards, reach the arms out to the side, stretch over those legs. And then from this position, shift the weight back into the heels, lift your chest back up to your seated chair pose. Squeezing those inner thighs, should be able to wriggle your toes. Keep breathing. Let's take a deep breath, arms come all the way up. Fold forwards over the legs, stretch to where you can. And one last time, weight back into the heels, bend the knees, lift your chest, sinking down into your seated chair. Breathe in, arms come all the way up. Let's just reach the arms out to the side, step your feet just a tiny bit wider. Take a moment, shoulder blades dropping down the back. So our main focus has been our legs today, a little bit of core. Let's go to those glutes for one final posture. So we're coming to the top of the mat. So you've got a little bit of mat back behind you. And we're going to take a big step back with one leg. Your back heel is lifted, and you don't have to go too far, but try and go back to where you can and find that length into the leg first of all. Then take your hips down. So our knees shouldn't be going forwards. We should be going down to where we can. So again, we should still be able to wriggle your toes on that front foot. From here, take a deep breath in, scoop through the tummy muscles, reaching those fingertips, opening out the hip. Now we're going to push off that back leg, trying to keep a slight bend into this front leg, and hold this balance. So we're going to squeeze and activate the glutes to lift that leg. Imagine somebody's pulling on that big toe, lengthening the leg out, and then pull the core in. And if you want to, small pulses, squeezing. If you're near a wall, you can always hold on for this part. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. And let's go to the other side. I'm going to turn around for the other side, but you can just step back on the other leg. Feet hip width apart. Take a deep breath in, big step back. Go to where you can, work the foot into the mat. Lengthen that back leg. And again, we can sink down into the position. So the hips are going down. We should be able to wiggle your toes. Taking a deep breath, arms come all the way up. Take a breath here. We are nearly done for today. Pushing off that back leg, finding your balance, reaching and lengthening through the back toe, small squeezes and pulses up, working through the glutes. Keep this going. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. Reach forwards, find the stretch, fold over your legs. And then rebuild and restack. Gradually bringing yourself up to standing. Well done.